How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. We also got to put in the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor and this isn't financial advice. So just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. And you know what time it is. It is time for the joke of the day. If you're new to this channel, we do this 5 days out of the work week. Maybe you had a long, maybe you had a stressful day, or maybe it was a market conditions. What are we talking about? The market killed it today. But anyways, you came to watch this video, plus hear one of my corny jokes. Here it comes. When does a joke become a dad joke? When it becomes apparent. Get it? Apparent. But anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is OCGN, a big time update. Many of you have been asking me questions and we're going to be covering what that is in this video. But before we get started, of course, we got to go over the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below in the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're considering to make an investment in this play, I highly suggest you watch the entire video. So the first thing that we're going to be going over is a recent press release that came out from the FDA saying that they're declining emergency use authorizations, EUA. Will this have an impact on ocugen? Well, you know what? We're going to be covering it in that first part of this video. I know many of you are looking forward to this. I'm going to clear the air and give you the info that you need to know. And then when we do that, after when we finish that, we're going to be taking a look at the technical analysis, seeing the price action. We want to see, is there still some more selling pressure? And if it does decide to pull back even further, where these levels can be. This will help with overall risk management. And also, we can see where the actual bottom is for this stock. When we do end up getting the news and the updates that we really want to hear, we can see a strong move to the upside and ride it off for profits. Then we're going to be taking a look at the institutional ownership. Yes, there has been some recent institutional activity, especially since we covered this yesterday. We're going to be covering it again today with the latest updates. Also taking a look at the short interest. Has it been going up or has it been going down? Well, we're going to be finding out. And then when all of that is done, I'll be giving you guys my final thoughts. So let's get into it. So I'm going to be going over a recent article. This came up on the news feed on a lot of broker apps under OCGN, and I just want to go through it with you guys. So FDA may decline new COVID vaccine EUA requests. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration updated emergency use authorization for COVID-19 vaccines says the agency may decline EUA requests from developers that have not yet met with the agency to discuss their vaccines. This announcement was made by the agency in a 25th May tweet from the account of FDA Center of Biologics Evaluation and Research. The revised guidance supersedes versions issued on the 22nd of February 2021 and October 2020. All versions of the guidance were made immediately effective for the duration of the public health emergency of the COVID-19 pandemic. FDA issues COVID-19 vaccine EUA guidance after clash with White House. Regulatory focus 6th of October 2020. FDA updates EUA guidance addressing vaccines against COVID variants. The revised guidance was issued on the same day that multiple media outlets reported that Ocugen Inc. had submitted its master file to FDA in anticipation of requesting an EUA for the whole variant inactivated COVID-19 vaccine Covaxin. Ocugen is the U.S. partner for India-based Bharat Biotech, which developed the vaccine. The master file submission was reported in a 19th of May Ocugen Securities and Exchange Commission filing that reports the pathway for a U.S. EUA for Covaxin as in development. The updated guidance has a new section on how it will prioritize requests for issuance of a EUA. The guidance said that when FDA assesses investigational COVID-19 vaccines for use under an EUA, their review includes a stringent evaluation of product quality, including whether the facilities producing the product meet appropriate standards, and an evaluation of the conduct of clinical trials and the assessment of the data integrity of the trials. So just to kind of give a little bit of a break here and kind of break that down, this is part of the reasons why the FDA was actually requesting that Bharat Biotech carry out phase 3 clinical studies on U.S. soil. This particular paragraph right here just goes in and it emphasizes that and shows the reason why they want to go about doing this. Early interactions with the agency are critical. According to the guidance, an FDA may decline to review an EUA if it is not feasible for the agency to verify any of these characteristics. So that's what I was talking about previously. They want to be able to make sure that they're getting the right data and it's being held, and also trials in the right environments. And they need to make sure of this because, again, they just want to make sure it's meeting the standard that they have outlined. Further, the agency said that for the remainder of the current pandemic, it may decline to review and process further EUA requests other than those for the vaccine whose developers have already engaged in an ongoing manner with the agency. So to break that down, we already know OCGN actually started working on this well before this actually came out back on. They said the article came out on May the 25th, and that's when the FDA did their update. So that's why this is no concern whatsoever. But I know many on Webull saw this pop up and they said, oh, that's the reason why the stock was actually selling off today. But again, this is just, I'm not going to call it FUD because, hey, this is what the FDA has outlined. But in regards to the impact that this has on Covaxin getting to the US, like I said, it is very minimal. No issues at all to be concerned about. We already know that Ocugen and Bharat Biotech are already taking the necessary steps to make sure Covaxin gets its EUA and then essentially move forward on to getting its FDA approval. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for OCGN. So let's see how it closed on the day. It was at $7.66, being down 3.65%. On the low, it tested $7.26, and then on the high, testing $7.86. So what we were talking about yesterday, we wanted to see what was key, and we know that support area of $8, right? So what ended up happening? We ended up getting some more selling pressure. Also, that news came out in regards to the FDA that literally drove the price down to where we're seeing it and where it tested lows of $7.26. Do keep in mind, we spoke about these potential areas in regards to a pullback yesterday. This is why there is value in doing these technical analysis. As far as our indicators, I didn't go over it because as you can see, it is well below all three of them. And as far as for the RSI, it is around a 34, so it's definitely in that oversold territory. So if it decides to pull back even further coming into tomorrow, then we're definitely going to have a test of this $7 area of support. We want to see how well it holds. If it does not hold, then we can look forward to seeing this area right here around the 658 and the 650s. If it pulls back even more, then definitely look out for $6. As far as getting down to this $5 area, I don't see that happening this week, to be honest with you guys. But these are just potential areas where we want to see actually $6 hold up as we get till the end of this week. Also, do keep in mind of the fact, if any type of news comes out in regards to the EUA, whether it's successes or, some milestones or even actually it going through, we already know that the master file has been submitted, then this pattern could definitely reverse and we could start looking bullish again. But for the meantime, OCGN is looking fairly bearish, and if things just kind of remain the same and there's no updates, I could see some more selling pressure in the stock price. So we're on Fintel, so we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information for OCGN. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So if we take into consideration the date of May the 26th, which is today, we have the USM IX Extended Market Index Fund adding some OCGN shares. They had 28,716 with a value of around 195,000. So that's what's been going down just recently. So nothing else coming from any other institutions that I've seen so far. And now if we take a look at the short interest information, the short volume ratio is at 26%. So we know if it's 21% or higher in regards to overall market sentiment, it is not good at all. They want to see the price actually come down, and that's why they're taking short positions. If we take a look at the short shares availability, it stands at 150,000, updated 19 minutes ago, and the short borrow free rate being at 3.24%. If we take a look at the history history right now, we can see 25.66, and this is taking into consideration the close as of May the 25th. We did go over this earlier, but do keep in mind of the fact, have you noticed that it actually has been going down? So what this means is, since the price is being driven down more and more, we're going to see this number actually get lower. If it decides to bounce back, or if we start seeing some strong moves to the upside, I won't be surprised if the short volume ratio goes back to increasing. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, I'm going to say it, I said it before previously, I am not surprised with the selling pressure that we ended up seeing. What really added more insult to injury was in that FDA report came out saying, hey, it is declining EUAs. But one thing that you need to remember, OCGN, Ocugen, and Bharat Biotech already submitted a lot of information already prior to this announcement being made. So taking this into consideration, we also got to look at the recent facts that we've shared on this channel. We talked about that, hey, Bharat Biotech is going to have to conduct clinical trials on US soil so they can actually start seeing some progress towards getting the EUA and then essentially the FDA approval. That is something that we know. So as far as when this release came out, a lot of it came out on a lot of brokerage programs. For example, like I use Webull, you see it all over the comment section. Hey, well, Covaxin is going to get declined. Did you see what the FDA said? So I can see there was definitely an overreaction to that particular type of news. So the stock ended up being sold off. But for the most part, I think Covaxin is going to be fine, especially if things do end up going according to plan. I am not solidifying this, I'm not certifying this, but again, we already know what the volatility and the risk are for this particular play. So as far as for the rest of this week, as it kind of moves forward, if we don't get any updates whatsoever, then we can continue to see the selling pressure actually continue. And this is why I was letting you guys know possible areas where it could actually pull back from in the technical analysis portion. And I'm going to say it again, I do not have a position in this stock. I don't want to get into an investment. I look at this more so as a momentum play here, and I want to make sure I'm reiterating the fact to you. So any of you who are holding and you have high conviction, then you should be confident in your investment. If you are not, then you're probably going to have to reevaluate your goals for this particular play. But at the same time, it's going to require a lot of patience. Bharat Biotech let us know, hey, you should be hearing some more info as the months start to proceed. So taking that all into consideration and seeing what OCGN has been doing and on their end in regards to making sure this process is smooth, hey, we're just going to have to wait. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.